Havoc.
News, interviews, and more.
We just reek of Huntsville Havoc hockey.
Welcome to another episode of the Reekin Havoc podcast. I'm Tim Lambert. Earlier this week, I had a conversation with one of the new kids on the block, defenseman Kevin Weaver-Vitale, who came in late in the season but made a good enough impression to be included on the protected list. We'll also have a few reminders to pass along later on as well. Stay with us. The Reekin Havoc podcast continues.
The Reekin Havoc podcast.
Got something to say? Put it on a t-shirt, or hoodie, or apron, or even an iPhone case. Just go to daddyoscustomtees.com and make it happen. Look through their selection of ready-made designs, or make one of your own. Check out their special hockey designs, too. With Daddy O's Custom Tees, you can truly have it your way. Look for Daddy O's Custom Tees on Facebook, follow them on Twitter or Instagram, or go online to daddyoscustomtees.com. That's DADDYOS Custom TEES.com. Daddy O's Custom Tees. They've got your back or front.
Let's go in the slot.
Welcome back. I caught up with Kevin Weaver-Vitale, a late season addition to the team who contributed 1 goal and 2 assists, totaling 3 points in his 6 regular season games, along with 1 assist in the 3 playoff games against Evansville. Getting started off here, give us your story, the Kevin Weaver-Vitale story, and it's kind of a short one. Just tell us where you're from, at least up until Huntsville.
Yeah. So I'm from Toronto, Ontario. Went to school at Plattsburgh State, which is Division III school, and then I was lucky enough to get a call from Coach Stu, and he asked me if I wanted to, hop on board, and I couldn't say no. I've heard a lot of great things about Huntsville, and I was kind of itching to get down because we spoke in January, so around mid-time for my university season, and it was always on my radar to hop on board after my college season was done, that's pretty much the story of how I got to Huntsville.
Well, as far as starting out, I mean, I'm looking at your profile here on eliteprospects.com. So that's usually kind of my go-to for folks' timeline. And so you got several years of junior hockey here. There's one, the Fort Erie Meteors. The Meteors, I like that name.
Yeah, it was a cool organization. That was my first crack at junior. I had a couple of call-ups, I think, that year too, just APing with I think Burlington Cougars it was at the time, and kind of got my feet wet with junior A because Fort Erie was junior B. So started off in Fort Erie, and then had a pretty good season, and the next year I signed junior A, and first contract that I signed in junior was with Trenton Golden Hawks, which is a really great organization. I was really, excited to jump on board, and then obviously things kind of didn't work out there, and headed to Toronto, which was good. It was a good year. It was a lot of fun. Also stayed at home that year since it was Toronto. So that was a neat experience. And then after Toronto, went to Markham, and Markham treated me really well. I thrived in that kind of coaching style with my coach back then, and that helped me get some eyes on me for the college road. And Plattsburgh came knocking at my door, and I obviously heard great things about them. They're highly touted university, and me and my family made the decision to go through Plattsburgh.
Let's see. Well, now how early did you start playing hockey?
I started as a kid. I've been playing my whole life. It's really all I know. I got on skates at 3 years old, probably just like everyone else if you were asked them, and kind of just, fell in love with the sport from such a young age, and haven't looked back yet. It feels like, it's been a fast ride, but slow at the same time. Like I started at 3 years old and now I'm 25, and it's really all I know. It's all my family knows. So I love it to death. I enjoy it. And that's just kind of my whole story with hockey.
Yeah. Are you from a hockey family?
Yeah, I am. I have a twin sister who played university in Canada, and both my parents played growing up, and I guess they kind of just put me and my sister in their footsteps from a young age, and it's a big hockey family, that's for sure. When I'm home for the summers, especially around this time when playoffs are going, we're all gathered around the TV watching, cheering on our favorite team, which is the Leafs. So, it's a hockey family, if you'd like to say that. Yeah.
Well, with all that hockey around you, did you ever play any other sports?
Yeah. So, my parents put me and my sister in a bunch of different sports. I played soccer, and baseball. Those were my two sports that I actually, kind of pursued in my early teens. I enjoyed soccer. I really enjoyed baseball too. It was just like a fresh, a reset, I guess, from hockey. It's also good to play other sports, just to build your athleticism through your youth. And I think by playing both of those sports, it made me a better hockey player in a sense. Just with getting a feel for different muscle groups, your hand-eye coordination, kind of things like that.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that. A lot of parents will, just focus their kids on one sport, and I guess probably living their dreams through their kids, and just kind of rob them of all that.
Stories like that. Yeah, I've heard a bunch of different stories like that where you kind of push your kid out of hockey in a sense, just from how parents, just want them to do one sport. I think it's, a great idea to put your kids in multiple sports growing up, just to get a feel for it. They never really pressed, me to become a hockey player. They said, choose what you want to do. At a certain age, it was getting to the point where it was like, hey, what am I going to choose? Hockey, baseball, or soccer? And I had more passion for hockey, so decided to retire from soccer and baseball and pursue hockey. So happy I did.
Okay. Well, I was wondering if there might have come a point in time where you might have thought, well, I don't know, maybe I want to go for soccer or baseball instead of hockey.
Yeah, it was pretty easy to make the decision. I wasn't really good at at soccer or baseball, but it was fun. It was just it was definitely you're making memories through meeting new people, new environments. So it was a lot of fun, but I wouldn't say I was that good at both of those sports. So it was kind of an easy decision.
Well, now, how much when you're in junior hockey? How much travel do you do?
There wasn't too much travel within the league that I played in, which was the OJHL. It was kind of within Toronto. I think the furthest that we would have to travel is Collingwood, and it was only like an hour and 30 minutes from the city, so it wasn't crazy. Like, you would drive yourself to the games. Like, it wasn't anything like what we do in Huntsville when you're bussing like 10 hours, 5 hours. Like, it was nothing like that. So coming out of junior and going to college, it was an adjustment at first with all that travel, because it was the same kind of thing. In college, you're traveling 5, 6, so it was definitely an adjustment when I got to college, and when I came to Huntsville, I was used to the bus trips and whatnot from being at Plattsburgh.
Yeah. Well, now looking at your timeline here, it looks like your first year at Plattsburgh was that COVID year.
Yeah.
So I guess you guys just didn't play any at all, or any game.
No.
What went on?
Exactly.
I mean.
Well, obviously, COVID took the world by surprise. So there was a lot of talk leading up to me leaving for Plattsburgh, whether or not we were going to have a season. But ended up going down there. Couldn't drive over the border at the time. I had to fly, which was kind of hard to do, especially moving all of your stuff to a college. So got down there, set everything up, and there's one day, I guess our athletic director came out and said that all sports teams were canceled for the upcoming season, which was definitely weird, because I've never, all my years I've played, through the years. So it was my first time actually having a year off of hockey, which was tough. So once that message came across from our athletic director, came back home for the whole year, and did what everyone else did in COVID, not much, and just quarantine and hang around. But looking back, it's kind of a good time. The world slows down a bit. You can appreciate your loved ones around you, and because now everyone's go, and you can't see them as much. So looking back, it was definitely a good year in a sense for spending time with family. But I didn't play my first year. The NCAA gave all those that class an extra year of eligibility if they wanted to take it, and it was a family decision coming up at the end of 2024 season that I wanted to do another year. So I took the year of eligibility the NCAA gave me, and did my 5th year with Plattsburgh.
Okay, so you said you took that 2021 year off. I was wondering if maybe you got a year in just of education then.
Yeah.
Or what? But you answered my question. You just went back home and stayed the other 4 years. What was your major in college, and why?
My major was fitness and wellness, which is like a personal training type of major. I've always been interested in the fitness industry. And maybe one day when I'm done hockey, become a personal trainer. I have a pretty good eye for that industry. Just being around the gym basically my whole life, training in the off seasons, it's something I think I would like to do after my hockey career is over with, and
What
pretty straightforward.
What about maybe a trainer for some hockey team?
Yeah, that's definitely. I haven't thought about it that much yet.
Yeah,
just because I'm still playing, but that's definitely an opportunity if it presents itself. Yeah.
Well, as far as while you were growing up, what did you have any sports heroes, whether it was hockey or not?
Yeah, I was when I was growing up, I was a huge Ovechkin fan. And obviously everyone knows what he did this year with breaking Wayne Gretzky's record. And he was kind of my hero growing up. Had a bunch of jerseys, bunch of posters. I was fortunate enough to go see him a couple times play when I was young. And he was just always, just an electric player to watch, and I don't really have to, to hype him up because he's, best goal scorer in the NHL. And, I think you want to watch the best and you want to learn from the best too, because they're doing something right. So, he was my childhood hero, if you want to say that.
Well, as far as position, have you always played defense, or is that the only position you ever wanted to play? Maybe you wanted to be a goalie. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I've always played D. I played a year forward when I was younger. Just didn't really like it, and went back to D the next year, and rest is history. I'm a huge defense fan, so I thought that was suited my game in a sense to be a D rather than a forward.
Yeah. And I've got a related fan question for you later on about that. But right now, let's see. Now, you racked up some honors while you were in, junior and college. You were an OJDL champion in 2016, 2017. SUNYAC champion in 22 and 23 for NCAA 3, and then second team All-Conference in 23-24, third team All-American East for ACHA and NCAA 3, and then honorable mention for the All-USCHO, and then first team All-Conference in SUNYAC. So you've got some I guess medals or ribbons or whatever, certificates, whatever they give you.
Yeah.
Let's, all right, well, we're going to move on past your college days, and you made reference to Coach Stephan giving you a call. So how did all that happen? How did you make it from college to Huntsville?
Yeah, so, my Stuart, played with my assistant coach at Plattsburgh, back in the college days for them. So I think my assistant coach, might have reached out to Stu 2 years ago, and kind of put me on Huntsville's radar. Then this year, come January, which was like mid-season for me, and obviously mid-season for Huntsville as well. He gave me a call, and we had a quick chat about what my plans were after the year, and I told him, I'm really interested, and I want to hop on board after my year ends. Once my year came to an end, Stu gave me a call the next day, and it was a fairly quick decision. Letting him know that I was coming. So packed up my bags from college and drove 18 hours to Huntsville from Plattsburgh, and the rest is history.
We'll be back with more of the Reekin Havoc podcast.
My name is Joel, and I came to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in December of 1987 to be treated for osteosarcoma, which is bone cancer. We didn't know anything about St. Jude. We didn't know what they meant, or that, when we got here, what we would do, how it would be taken care of. And when we arrived, we found out that my family wasn't going to have to pay for any of my treatment, not for my medicine, not for travel, not for housing, not for food. St. Jude was going to cover all that. St. Jude supported me in every way, from, taking that financial burden off my parents to making sure that all of my family was included in this time. St. Jude literally means everything to me. I get to go home to my family tonight. I get to cook dinner for them. That's what you're giving. You are giving us everything by supporting St. Jude. So thank you so much.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Hey, this is Chris George, and you're listening to the Reekin Havoc podcast.
A lot of times I like to ask if players have any expectations from hockey down here in the South. But, your coach played with Coach Stephan, so I guess he kind of gave you an idea, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't know too much about the city itself. I just knew really about the hockey and the atmosphere in Huntsville. And I was super excited to witness it. I can't say enough good things about the city of Huntsville too. It was, it was a beautiful city. A lot of things to do. And then obviously the fans that we get in Huntsville was, nothing like I've played in front of before. And, it was crazy. It got me hooked in a sense. Yeah.
Had you ever played in front of a crowd that big?
No, that was definitely the biggest crowd I've played in front of in my career. So, I've played in front of a lot of fans and in some finals that, I've been a part of, and that just, Huntsville's atmosphere just knocks that out of the park, just with how loud, how passionate, and how involved they are, within the team and the community. So, it was definitely a really cool experience, and definitely looking forward to, hearing them for a full year.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to you having several years playing in front of those crazy fans. Yeah. You were a defenseman on the team as far as position, but coming up in your earlier playing days, did you find yourself playing a particular role? I know you're not supposed to fight in college. You're not supposed to, but maybe in junior hockey, what were you a fighter? You were an instigator, maybe a troublemaker. I don't know.
No, definitely not. I was funny story. I was, once I got to Huntsville, I was talking with Dom Ricoprio, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, can you, I could teach me a couple things about fighting?" And he kind of, ran my show in a sense, and I knew, I'm not a fighter or whatnot. And my role is kind of just using my feet to my advantage, making good passes and getting up in the rush when I can. So kind of a good two-way defenseman. I can, defend really well and obviously get up in the rush when I need to. So I'd say that's my role.
Did you ever get dragged into a fight at some point?
No, never. I was pretty smart with it. I knew that I wouldn't be able to win probably in a fight. So, from a young age, I guess from juniors, I kind of knew that that's not who I am.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and
leave that to Reginato and
yeah. Well, it's you're better out there playing where you can put some points on the board or keep points from going on the board for the other team instead of sitting there watching. Looking at your stats here again. I mean, you only spent 2 minutes in the penalty box in your 6 games with the Havoc, so who knows? Cole may have racked up an hour in that time. So exactly. Well, what are some of your game day rituals? I mean, do you have? I say rituals. I mean, maybe you just have a routine, but I mean, are there maybe some kind of little bit of superstition that goes into some of it?
I think try not to really be too superstitious, but sometimes it's hard in the dog days of the season when things might not be going well or things are going well. Just kind of like to keep the same routine throughout the day. I'm not like changing my suits 24/7. I've had a bad game or a good game. I kind of keep it the same, just being consistent, and game in and game out. Get to the rink for morning skate, do my thing on the ice and come home, shut it down for a couple of hours, and then I like to get to the rink pretty early just to start prepping for that night's game. But nothing crazy. No like crazy meals that I have. There's a couple of stories that I've heard where guys are eating the same meal every day on a game day. I think that I wouldn't be able to do that for sure. But it's nothing crazy. Just a normal, I guess, routine on a game day, I'd say.
Do you tend to prep one side and then the other side every time? Go left side, then go right side, or
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. I guess the craziest thing I do is probably I start off with my right side. So tie my right skate first, then my left. I've always done it. That's probably the craziest thing, which is not even that crazy, but some people might think it is. So yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. Well, now we kind of touched on this. You're on the protected list, so where our assumption is that you are at least planning to come back next year. The protected list doesn't lock you in necessarily as far as whether you decide to come back or not. But you said you're looking forward to coming back for a full year, so
100%. Yeah, I'm. I loved every second of being in Huntsville. Like I said before, guys were super nice. Really tight group, which made it easy transition for me to come in. And can't say enough good things about the coaching staff. How prepping me for all the games and teaching me the pro lifestyle, and how to play the game properly in the pro world. So definitely, it was just a little taste with Huntsville hockey, and it was an easy decision to come back for a full year, and maybe a couple of years down the road, who knows. But I'm super excited to come back. Can't wait. It's going to be a long off season, which sucks, but time flies. So just really looking forward to getting ready, gearing up for next season. Yeah.
It's a longer off season for us fans than we would have wanted to. So.
Oh yeah.
So what's your hockey nickname?
Guys call me Weaves.
Weaves. Okay. Is that one that that you had coming in growing up, or did they dub you with that when you got here?
No, that's been my nickname for my whole life. So yeah, it kind of just stuck with me. It's not. I have such a long last name where it was pretty. Guys need a nickname for me. They can't be calling me my whole last name when they're asking for a puck. So everyone just called me Weaves growing up.
Okay. So in your downtime, what did you do in your downtime when you're not on the ice?
Yeah. I like just to watch hockey. I watch a lot of NHL games and follow along, whatever game is on, whether that's, following my Plattsburgh team or following friends that, are in different spots. I'm really a big hockey nerd, I guess, if you want to say. My life kind of just revolves around hockey, which is kind of boring to some fans maybe hearing that. But, I'm just really, really passionate about the sport. Watch a lot of hockey, but once hockey season's over in the summer, I like to hang out with friends, go for walks. I like to, do some hiking, just spending time with family too. It's always nice because you don't get to see them a lot during the year. But other than that, just training for the next season and spending time with friends and family.
Okay. Do you I was going to ask you as far as what you do during the off season. Do you work at another job, or do you just?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, it's within hockey. I work with my cousin, and we run a defense clinic for kids coming up within minor hockey, and we've been doing that for about 8 years now, and seems to be a booming business in a sense within Toronto, just because of how big the market is in Toronto for hockey. So I do that through the summer. Starts in July and ends in August. So I do that as my job, and then we're trained around that schedule. So that's all. That's what I do for work.
Okay. Well, you and Austin Alger kind of have something in common there. I think he does like youth camps and things.
Oh yeah, it's pretty popular.
Okay, so I mentioned a fan question. I mean, you were only here for like 6 games as far as what you played in. Was there a favorite theme night that happened during that time?
Yeah, I think my favorite moment, I guess, from being in Huntsville was probably the glow in the dark jerseys. That was a pretty cool night. It was a home game, and waiting to go on the ice, and we all had to, in a sense, charge our jerseys up with these lights, and stepped out on the arena, and everyone's jerseys glowing, and that was a pretty cool game. It's something I'll always remember.
Yeah. Well, coming up here next year, you'll have a whole lot more choices to pick from.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
There's a theme night every night, seemed like.
Yeah.
As far as how much fan interaction have you had in your short time in Huntsville?
It was a lot, which is good. It's a good thing. I want fans to get to know who I am, and get to know some fans, and everyone I've run into I've had a good relationship with. Everyone's super nice. We had some booster club events in my time there. So it was really fun, for them getting to know me, especially being so new, and obviously getting to know them as well. And everyone I met was super nice and super welcoming. So definitely really appreciated that from the fans.
Another fan question here. This was actually for an earlier interview that we were supposed to have had, but they got the question in too late. But it plays in to what you do. The question was, my son has been playing defense lately, mainly because he is aggressive, but he's been a little discouraged that he doesn't get to score quite as much on defense. So they thought it would be good for him to hear from one of the guys that do play defense, and maybe give him some advice or encouragement.
Yeah. When I was playing defense when I was younger, I was kind of more of a shutdown role, and I didn't really score as much when I was coming up when I was younger. But I kind of just found another step, in a sense, where I had some pretty good offensive upside, and kind of just stuck to what I'm good at. I'm still really a really good defender and whatnot, but some advice is you don't put too much pressure on yourself about scoring, just because there's teams where you need a guy that can shut down the opposing team's best line. You see it with some of our defense at Huntsville. Like everyone has a job to do, and if you can be the best at your job, you don't need to worry about scoring. If you can shut down the other team's top line and not get on the score sheet, I think you can look at yourself in the mirror and that night after the game and say, I did my job, and I kept the top scorers off the score sheet for the other team. So I wouldn't say don't worry about the points too much, because you're contributing in a positive way, whether that's defending or scoring. So points will come. stats are cool and whatnot to look at, but especially once you get to the higher levels, coaches, see that defense is important as well.
Yeah. And keeping the other team from scoring is kind of like scoring yourself. If you look at it a certain way.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, well, so we've come to the section I call my puck out of play questions. They're usually unrelated to hockey, but sometimes they circle back depending on what your answer is. Yeah. So my first question is, what would your favorite movie be?
Favorite movie? I'd probably have to go Step Brothers with Will Ferrell.
Okay.
It's a pretty funny movie.
All right. And this is kind of a related, maybe your favorite TV show or maybe what you have streamed, maybe that you go back to.
Yeah. Favorite TV show, I'd probably have to say Ozarks. It's on Netflix. It's a pretty good series.
Mm-hmm. All right. Favorite food?
Favorite food? There's a lot of different options, especially being Italian. There's some pretty good Italian dishes. I'd probably have to keep it simple and just say chicken parm, some pasta.
Okay, that seems to be kind of a popular answer. Was there anything you got introduced to when you came down here?
As far as food wise, probably not.
Oh, okay.
I probably had it all growing up, so nothing too crazy.
Okay. All right. Favorite music group, artist, or genre, or maybe all three.
Yeah. I don't know if I have a favorite artist. I like a bunch of different music, and like rap. I like country. I like pretty much everything. I can point one artist in particular out, but I'm like any kind of music really.
Are you kind of stuck with the playlist on game day? Or do you do your own thing?
I can't even remember who was. Yeah, I listen to whatever's playing in a locker room. Gets me fired up for the game, but I forget who the team DJ is.
Okay. Are you much of a reader?
I read occasionally, if you want to say that. I haven't read a book in a while. I think I like to do a lot more reading in the summers. Just reading about leadership, different stories from different athletes. Okay. I kind of just like gain knowledge through books sometimes. I don't really read too many like story books in a sense. I like to read on people's past journeys, and learn from their mistakes and their success too.
Yeah. And I guess maybe that would include audiobooks these days.
Yeah, you could say that, yeah.
All right, so last one, some Kevin Weaver-Vitale trivia, something that maybe not a lot of people know, and you being so new, there's probably maybe a good bit, but something maybe not too embarrassing, maybe a guilty pleasure that you have?
Something that's pretty neat, I guess, is I have a twin sister, like I mentioned before. So we're pretty close. We have a good relationship. She's off doing what she does. I'm off doing what I do. So cool little thing, I guess, having a twin. But I like doing crazy things. I like skydiving. I've been skydiving once. I'm just kind of like I like the adrenaline kind of activities. I guess as you say, skydiving. Anything else that involves a good adrenaline spike, I like it.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I guess that's going to do it for us today. I appreciate you coming on, and look forward to seeing you on the ice next year, and maybe the next, or the next, or the next. However long you want to do it.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. Thank you so much.
That was defenseman Kevin Weaver-Vitale in the slot. We'll be back with more after this.
The Reekin Havoc Podcast.
In June of 2005, our twin girls were delivered, Melissa and Ann Catherine, and they were born 14 weeks early.
Amy and Chris George talk about the Melissa George Neonatal Memorial Fund.
They both weighed less than 2 pounds. Ann Catherine was 115 and Melissa was 1'9". Melissa lived for a couple of hours, but all of the medical technology in the world just could not have saved her, and she passed away while she was in the NICU. Chris realized pretty early that God had given us a platform that we could use to try to help people. So Chris and I started the Melissa George Neonatal Memorial Fund at Huntsville Hospital.
To know that Melissa's name is living on, her legacy continues, and I think that was very important to Amy and I, is why the fund is named after her. Because for 7 weeks, Melissa fought so that Aunt Catherine would have a chance to live. And I think that we wouldn't be doing her name any justice if we didn't carry on, because we know we wanted to honor her and honor her legacy. And the community, Huntsville Havoc, the community in Huntsville itself, they've rallied around that. And it's been a wonderful support system for us. And I think for a lot of families, too, when they see total strangers that are giving.
We're online at HuntsvilleHospitalFoundation.org. Click on the Melissa George Neonatal Memorial Fund, and you can give that way.
There's no donation that's too small, and every dollar is just as important as the next one. And if you're giving, then we understand you're giving because you care. And that's what's important, is that we've learned over the years that people give because they care.
And you can volunteer. If you're interested in that, you can click on the volunteer tab to fill out an application. We are grateful for any type of support, because we know that once we pull those dollars together, we can do big things.
For more information on the Melissa George Neonatal Memorial Fund, visit HuntsvilleHospitalFoundation.org.
Hey, this is Benito Poza, and you're listening to the Reekin Havoc Podcast.
The Huntsville Havoc On Ice Youth Summer Camp is back. Session 1 is June 16th through 19th. Session 2 is July 21st through 24th. Kids can learn from head coach Stu Steffen and assistant coach Tyler Piacentini. Cost is $350 for skaters and $300 for goalies for the 4 days. For more information, go to huntsvillehavoc.com/youth-camp. The Havoc Free Agent Showcase for all junior, college, and aspiring pro players will be held this year at the St. Peter's Recplex in a partnership with the Missouri State Ice Bears, August 1st through 3rd. Coaches Stu Steffen and Tyler Piacentini will be in attendance and inviting one player to the Havoc training camp. For more information, you can email ssteffen@huntsvillehavoc.com. Summer hours for the front office and team store are 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Monday through Thursday.
If you love the Huntsville Havoc, leave us a voicemail with your name, how long you've been a fan, and even some of your favorite players. Call 256-434-RKKN. That's 256-434-7556.
The Reekin Havoc Podcast.
For those returning from military service, the transition back to civilian life isn't always easy. Retired Marine Gunnery Sergeant Bill Cook talks about still serving veterans.
The mission of Still Serving Veterans is to serve and honor veterans and their families by empowering them to build meaningful lives. And we do that through connecting to fulfilling careers, getting the benefits they deserve, or the services that they need. We have never charged anybody anything for our services. A group of business leaders in town felt there was a need to help the seriously wounded make that transition back into civilian life. Employment services, VA benefits, and connections to other community services. That's what we do. If you're a veteran and you need help, please get a hold of us. Go to that website, ssv.org, and you can find out pretty much anything you need to know about still serving veterans.
In Huntsville, call 256-883-7035.
For tickets, official Huntsville Havoc merchandise, and more, go to huntsvillehavoc.com. Visit our website at reekinhavoc.com. Look for us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and Threads. And listen, follow, and subscribe to the Reekin Havoc podcast on your favorite platform to keep up with the only weekly podcast covering the Huntsville Havoc, the Reekin Havoc podcast.